afternoon, Celia. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, how you been doing recently?
Been okay. Pregnancy's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, what week are you on now?
The 10th.
Great. Wow. I'm glad to hear that it's going well.
Yeah, it's really
How
really
is
good.
Benjamin?
Benjamin's good. He's in daycare right now, so it's been good to have him there.
Okay.
So I could have some time to
How
myself.
old is he again?
3.5.
3.5. Wow.
Yeah,
He's
it's really grown up. It's crazy, and then we got another one coming.
Yeah. So have you had your first ultrasound appointment?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Have you determined the gender?
It's a girl.
Oh wow.
Little Susie over here.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Very exciting.
Yes, it is. Cannot wait.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm looking at your chart, and I see that you have been referred to me because of your low iron levels.
That's correct.
So they meet the criteria for iron deficiency anemia, which is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, what have you tried before? What have you been doing that you know of with your iron levels? Have you been aware of this problem?
I've always known that I've had low iron,
Okay.
and I've tried to, throw some red meat in there once in a while. I haven't really ever focused too hard on it, though.
Okay. So, do you take any supplements as of right now?
I do not.
Okay. Is there, so what are your views on supplements? How do you see those?
I just have always been a little weary about them, heard some things.
Okay.
That's about it, though.
Okay.
I don't really know too much about them, honestly.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So, that's okay. That's why you're here. We can talk about that today. So, what do you know about the relationship between your iron levels and your baby's iron levels? It's really important during pregnancy. Iron is an essential nutrient that is needed in the manufacturing of the molecule hemoglobin, which is able to transfer the oxygen to the placenta and the fetus. So that's really important for that. It also plays a role in the development of the central nervous system and the child's brain.
Okay.
And while you're pregnant, it's especially important because you need enough iron for both yourself and the child. And if the fetus isn't getting enough, it will dip into your stores, and that can even cause even worse problems.
Okay.
So, are you aware of any of the consequences of iron deficiency anemia? Have you heard anything about that?
Not really, honestly.
Okay. So,
I know that it's not good to have low iron, though.
right, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you recognize that. So, iron deficiency anemia, like I said before, can be very harmful during pregnancy. So, some of the maternal consequences include fatigue or lack of energy, a pale appearance, decreased immune functions, and even maternal death with extreme blood loss during the delivery.
Okay.
Some of the fetal consequences include low birth weight, intrauterine growth retardation, prematurity, and the potential for neurological deficits.
Okay.
So, do you feel like you've had any of those symptoms?
I do feel a little fatigued recently.
Fatigued? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Other than that.
All right. So, some of the pros. Can you think of any, now that we've talked about, the list of the, potential consequences, can you think of any pros towards taking iron pills?
That they will hopefully raise my iron levels, and I will decrease the risk of those potential consequences.
Yeah. So that's the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Some cons that I've heard other people expressing before would be sometimes if you take an iron pill in the morning, it can make you nauseous if you haven't had breakfast yet. So I would keep that in mind. And it can also cause the stool to harden, which can lead to constipation, which is uncomfortable. So now knowing the potential risks and benefits for taking an iron supplement, would you reconsider maybe taking an iron pill for the duration of your pregnancy?
I think I would.
Okay.
You've convinced me.
Great, good. I'm glad to hear that because I think that will really benefit you and the child. So, when can you see yourself starting iron supplements?
As soon as possible.
Immediately? Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how important is this change to you?
Very important.
Good. Okay. I'm glad I got my message across.
Yes, me too.
Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit more about supplements, let's talk about iron that you can get from your diet.
Okay.
So, what foods do you know that are a good source of iron?
Spinach, red meat.
Yes.
That's about all I know.
Great. Okay, so those both do have iron. So, have you ever heard of the difference between heme and non-heme iron?
I've heard of them, but I don't know the specific difference.
Okay, so your first example of spinach would be a source of non-heme iron. That's iron that you can get from a plant source, and it's not as readily absorbed in your bloodstream. The red meat that you said, that's the perfect example for a type of heme iron that you get from an animal protein, and it has a much higher level of absorption. So maybe finding leaner red meats is a really good idea. Some other great sources of iron, a non-heme example would be dried apricots or baked beans. And then, yeah, like we said, those red meats, even seafood and pork chops. Those are all really great. So now that we've kind of talked a little bit more about this, I'm really glad that you're so willing to change. I think that's great. So the problem is low iron, and there are a couple solutions that I can think of that we've already talked about some of them.
Yeah.
So the first two being increasing dietary iron and starting on a supplement.
Yeah.
And the third would be pairing your iron sources with vitamin C to boost the intake.
Okay.
So that can be especially helpful, especially when you're having non-heme sources. So like you said, spinach. So pairing a fruit with the spinach salad would be great. So after hearing about some of the solutions, how do you think you can incorporate more iron into your body? Like, do you want to, let's set some goals here.
Sounds great. Should I just write them down
Yeah,
right here?
sure. That's the best.
So spinach, definitely. I love salads. So maybe like a spinach salad with the dried apricots.
Yes.
And maybe some strawberries on there.
Sure.
For the fruit. Strawberries and apricots goes great together.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea.
And then maybe the supplements.
Yeah, I think that's a really quick and easy way that you can get a lot of iron into your system. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So, do you want to just read me what you wrote down? So just we'll
I will add apricots and strawberries to my spinach salad.
Okay.
Because it's vitamin C pairing with the iron to boost the iron intake. And I will also take 30 milligrams of iron every morning with breakfast for the duration of my pregnancy.
Perfect. Okay. Those sound really great. So, do you think you can accomplish these goals?
I do.
Okay.
Very confident.
Great. So, how important do you feel like accomplishing the goals is to you?
Extremely important. Scale of 1 to 10, probably 10.
Okay. Great. I'm glad to hear that. Do you see anything that could interfere with you achieving these goals?
I can't think of many, except for maybe if I don't have the food at home that day. I haven't gone grocery shopping in a while or something, but other than that, I don't really see any difficulties.
Right. Okay. So we can talk about some management techniques that we can implement that will really make sure that you are, spot on with your goals. So one suggestion I would maybe make is just reminding your spouse if he does any of the grocery shopping, reminding him about those non-heme and heme sources of iron, reminding him to try to purchase more foods with those, as well as foods with good vitamin C content. Fresh fruits and vegetables are always a great option for those. And then, it's changing the behavior is very hard. It's not something that we can just automatically do, no matter how easy it might seem.
Yeah.
So just staying internally motivated and thinking about your baby is, I think, going to be really. I think that's where you're pulling most of your motivation from. So I think that's great. And then as far as how to monitor these goals so that you can really see how much you're improving, I think we could do think we could do a checkup in probably 6 weeks from now, and we'll measure your iron. And in the meantime, I think it might be a great idea to just kind of keep a chart, or even just mark on your calendar, this is the time that I took my iron pill, so that you can just really remember every day, maybe getting one of those Monday through Sunday little pill boxes, just so that you stay on top of that iron supplement, and you won't forget.
Okay.
Does that sound like a good plan?
That sounds great.
Great. Okay. So, I'm really glad that you came in today, Celia.
Me too. I'm so happy that you were able to help me.
Yeah, great.
You did an awesome job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, I'll schedule a follow-up appointment in about 6 weeks.
Okay.
All right. We'll
Perfect.
see you then.